Alrighty, you guys, welcome back to a brand new episode here on
The ankle. Hey, Ember.
Hello, honey. Welcome to my shit show.
Sorry, I had to turn off the AC. It's nighttime, so hopefully it doesn't get too crazy, and hopefully Goo can chill out, because it's like 12 a.m. I don't know why he's got energy right now. Anyways, y'all, welcome on in, and welcome to our very first review, I guess, of sorts. Yeah, I guess it's a review. Charli XCX's newest album release, Brat. This came in the mail just the other day, but I have been listening to it for a minute. We'll just do a quick little run through. Got it on this like kind of smoky clear vinyl. Before we dive into the contents of this, just like a brief little synopsis on it, I guess. It's the 6th studio album from Charli XCX from Atlantic Records. Came out June 7th. And then if y'all know, you know, there's a song on here that was alluding to Charli's relationship with Lorde. If you guys know, you know. It's kind of like a part of meme culture now. Charli was doing an interview and someone started asking her about what her song Royals meant. So it's like kind of pop culture moment at this point. It kind of is. So it's always kind of been like an interesting relationship between the two, I guess. And they're compared so much. And it definitely is explored a bit in that song, but a remix came out where Lorde directly responded to it. So, I don't know, it's just like pop culture moment after pop culture moment. This album has kind of been like popping off and doing the rounds online. But she stated that it calls to her teenage years in the illegal London rave scene, which of course I have no reference of. But I definitely pick up like the club aspect from any of her music, but especially this one. Okay, so we'll go into the packaging on this real quick. Now I do keep the cellophane on. So when I open these, you know, just kind of slit it and never really open it. So I don't know what the what the middle of it looks like. But like I showed, it comes that smoky clear vinyl. And then some of the like literature and stuff, I guess, that's in it. It comes with this like fact sheet, which I freaking love. And it's just got like all the song information on. I love this, dude. It's like the QED report from Sue Ellen. I'm dying. Also, you guys will probably notice I'm going to get a little bit shiny. But yeah, it just, you know, is like the credits basically. But I just love how it's on this like fax paper. And then as well as that, it comes with this booklet. And it has the lyrics to all of the music, which, you know, that's cool. And then I usually don't keep the sheet that the original vinyl comes in, because it's usually just like this, but just a piece of paper. But this, it's cool. It's got like all of the tracks on it, and it's just, it mixes with the vibe of the packaging overall, which I really enjoy. Also, this album is a bit of a collector's nightmare unless you buy two, because you have to break a seal that's right here that goes over the middle to open it, and that's kind of like a collector's nightmare, having to ruin a sticker in order to get to the actual record. In all fairness, like, it doesn't matter. If I was a true hardcore collector, I would have gotten two of these. But I don't care that much. But I guarantee you there will be a major resale value probably on that. Not soon by any means, but maybe like 10 years down the road, maybe, when they're no longer pressing this album anymore. Also, along with like the rollout of this album, she changed all of the artwork on her streaming platforms to match the artwork for this album, which I kind of love. I kind of love it, you know, just making everything like look uniform and whatnot, but all like having the vibe of this, you know. I did find it somewhat shady as I was like reading up on, you know, just kind of like how the record did and whatnot. They made a very emphasized point that she got second on the Billboard charts, and there's drama behind that. I don't want to necessarily get all into it because I especially don't want to summon any of the Swifties into here. If you guys know, or if you don't know, so Charli XCX was heading towards the #1 spot in the UK Billboard charts. So naturally her fans were like very excited for her and whatnot, because I think it's been a while since she's topped charts, which that's fine. That's not an artist's main goal. But then Taylor Swift had to go and release the 40th something version of Tortured Poets Department only for UK fans. So that instantly bumped Charli, like solidified her in the #2 spot. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go on a rant about it. I said I wouldn't, so I'm not. But even though there's nothing like saying you can't do that, whatnot, it seems like shady business practices. I'm going to be real. And everyone who's saying like, oh, well, why does it matter? If it doesn't matter, then why did Taylor do it? All I'm going to say. But yeah, it's just shady. But also like, that's kind of in the spirit of the album itself. Like, it's shady and confident, you know. I have a quote or two about kind of the process, or more so how the artist herself feels about the album pertaining to the cover art, because you guys might think, oh, this is pretty bland, pretty lackluster, and yes, it is pixelated. It's not very clear, but there is artistic reason behind that. And before we jump into all that, I just want to say that it's extremely refreshing to see pop artists doing pop art. You know what I mean? A musical artist that puts so much thought and energy into all of the details that it does become like a real work of art. You know, she might be a commercially successful artist, but she still holds on to that like artistic integrity, you know? But so she said, I wanted to go with an offensive, off-trend shade of green to trigger the idea of something being wrong. I'd like for us to question our expectations of pop culture. Why are some things considered good and acceptable, and some things deemed bad? I'm interested in the narratives behind that, and I want to provoke people. I'm not doing things to be nice. No, I can respect that. I truly can. And you might not get it just listening to the music itself, like receive the message of this goes deeper than it actually does, but it's there if you want to explore it. You know what I mean? It's an album, and I think this is all great music is music that can be taken at face value and just enjoyed for what it is, and also be explored as a artistic creation, a extension of the artists themselves. So it has been critically acclaimed, like worldwide. I mean, not to sound like, yeah, but it has like gone viral, all that. A lot of the songs are trending online, which is good. That's good. A lot of people are listening to it, getting behind it, and that's exciting to see, because I'll be honest with you, I've heard Charli XCX's music for a long time. Was never a major fan, but she's been in the industry for a long time, and it seems like it's finally paying off. So the track list for this, it goes 360. It's one of my favorite ones, I'll be honest with you. And it starts the album off perfectly. If there was like one single that had to come from the album, it would definitely be that one. It's probably the one that's like the most popular online right now. A great one. And then the next one after that is Club Classics. Now, it's definitely not like the most enjoyable song on the album. It's very repetitive, but what I think it does more so for the overall artistic image or artistic experience is that it sets you into the place where Charli is pulling influence from, the Club Classics. what she wants to listen to when she's out partying and whatnot. And you can very much hear that influence on the album itself. You know what I mean? I'm going to put this down for now, okay? And then Sympathy is a Knife, also a favorite of mine. So good. It's such a good, just kind of like pop hit, you know? And I don't know, there's such like, I'm going to get really artsy with this, you guys. There's such a juxtaposition between the upbeatness of the tracks and then like the lyrics and how you listen to them. It's like, I don't know, there's a pretentiousness, but it's like you can identify with it. Everyone has these emotions, you know, and everyone gets fed up with certain things, and you kind of see through the BS of it all with some people. I think that's just very like poignant throughout the entire album, but really more so that song, of just how like sometimes people's kindness is, you know, almost worse. Club classics as well. It also asserts the album's kind of like pop defying sound. Like it's definitely pop, but it has that underground club influence to it as well, which also ever since Charlie XCX started working with Sophie, which of course she no longer is, rest in peace, I got emotional earlier thinking about it. I cry probably once or twice a month thinking about Sophie. Just an incredible artist, incredible. And we can talk about her vinyl soon. Actually, her family is releasing another one later this month, which I'm very excited to get my hands on. So we'll do a review of that one when it comes out and I get it. Thankfully, you know, she has much more music that we don't know about that was created before her passing. So it's her family putting it out. If it's their wishes, then so be it. I'm just excited for new Sophie music, because it's such a loss to art and just the culture in general to have lost an artist like this at so young. This was her first album. She released many other things before, but this was her first and only album before her passing. And it's just so tragic. But she did work with Charlie on Crash and just Crash, I believe. Maybe before that a bit, but specifically Crash. And so one of the songs on this album is also mourning the loss of Sophie specifically. While it is very sad, you know, it also did birth one of the most embarrassing online moments I have ever witnessed in my life. Ugh. So news of Sophie's passing got out. It was going around online, and the hashtag "We're Sorry Charlie" was trending on Twitter. It would take a person with one brain cell 2 seconds to see that these are like sympathy posts, you know, paying respects to her lost friend and producer. Very quickly you would have caught on to that. Charlie D'Amelio, for some reason, responded to the hashtag and was like, "Oh my god, you guys, thank you so much," when nothing happened to her. While we were all reeling about the loss of Sophie, that was such a just a rainbow over the whole dark situation, to be honest with you. That was so freaking funny. Oh my god. And so embarrassing for her. Back on track. So after that, I might say something stupid. That one is, it's all right in my opinion. I think it once again dives into that very deep emotional kind of duality that this album has. While it's not technically my favorite or most enjoyed song on the album by any means, it fits within the entire picture, you know what I mean? And all the songs do. So I think it's a very well-rounded album, even if not every song is like banger, want to listen to over and over again. It fits, so it's like you have to listen to it, you know what I mean? Talk. Once again, it's an all right one. Her music in this album explores like a lot of just kind of like superficial things, but looking at them through a deeper lens. So I appreciate that. You know, it keeps the kind of superficial nature of pop music, but it has that other layer to it, which that's pop music that I enjoy. I'll be honest with you. Von Dutch, which, oh, banger. Absolute banger. Everything is romantic. I think it's really interesting. I'm reading off my notes that I wrote earlier while I sat down and listened to the album. So everything is romantic. It's very complex, like electronic composition, but it creates such a organic and emotional atmosphere for the song and the album itself, honestly. Like, it just feels like you're walking through kind of like a dream, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense. But it's also glamorizing things that like you wouldn't necessarily think of as romantic, like Jesus Christ on a plastic sign, or leather tanned skin. Like, you know, it's giving emphasis to things that certain people might find beautiful. Rewind, also a really good one. It has like a sense of longing to it. Obviously, I think the name kind of like makes sense for that, but also has a feeling of like nostalgia to it. It's like a longing for an old version of yourself before loss and insecurity. You know, she's talking a lot about how she wished she could go back literally just before she became so insecure and so like self-conscious of herself. And yeah, I think anyone could relate to that, especially probably artists, because so much of like what don't think I'm being pretentious when I say we, but I went to school for it, so like art requires so much from the artist most of the time. So it's nice that like we're getting real vulnerability while at the same time she's admitting to us that she's extremely insecure about some things. Mourning yourself or a version of yourself that could have been. And then it's followed by So I, which is kind of like her tribute song to Sophie. It's based off of Sophie's song It's Okay to Cry, which give that one a listen, guys. It'll make you cry. It's a good song. And I think it's a beautiful tribute, but like you can tell how much Sophie's loss has really kind of hurt or destroyed Charlie inside. And you know, I can definitely understand that. I can imagine like, you know, I'm sitting here fawning over the impact she had on me just through her art. Imagine the impact that she had directly on the people she created that art with. It's going to make me emotional again. But yeah, so like mourning yourself, mourning friends you've lost, but also mourning moments that were missed as well. A real sense of regret, it seems. And then Girl So Confusing is the song that Lord, this one, the song that she did a remix to because it's directly talking about her. It is directly talking about her. I definitely like understand. It's a mixture. You guys, the dichotomy in this entire album is a little bit crazy. Like, it's confrontational, it's abrasive, it's unapologetic, but it's also very kind and very understanding as well. You know, like she admits like sometimes she thinks maybe she's jealous of her, or, you know, she is jealous of her. Like, they're constantly compared in the media, even though realistically there's nothing similar about them other than looks. Maybe if we're looking through the Hollywood lens of everything, sure, they look alike, but there's nothing similar about them. I'll be honest, I haven't listened to the remix yet. I was hoping that I'd be able to get the deluxe version on vinyl, but we'll see if that comes out. After that is Apple. Now, Apple is definitely a very interesting one. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it. I'm just going to straight up say it. It has a weird sound to me, but I love the message of it. I really do. It's about just like trauma, family trauma, you know, breaking yourself away from that kind of like inherited hurt, I guess. talking about her family issues and just working through that, you know, but all while like the apple. I don't know, it has kind of a childish feel to it, but I'm not saying that in a bad way. It feels childish, but to relive your childhood trauma, which is what the song is about, that seems appropriate, right? If that makes sense. If you guys have listened to the album, please, of course, let me know your thoughts. Definitely want to know and carry on the discussion about it. That goes into B2B back to back. Also an incredible song. It's so good. But there's an emotional maturity in that song about like moving through dating kind of in adulthood. And it sounds a little corny, like knowing your worth, blah, blah, blah. But like, you know, she's talking about she doesn't want to keep going back to the same person over and over again who isn't ultimately appreciating her. And that shows like a lot of growth, because I feel like a lot of us can identify with maybe being attracted to things that we shouldn't be. But she is currently engaged to the 1975's George Daniel. So Mean Girls is all right. It's all right. As well as 360, it's kind of like referencing Julia Fox and kind of characters like that. You wouldn't believe the amount of times this week that I've walked around and I look at Goo and I'm like, Goo, you're so Julia. So Julia. I love it. I love it. And then from Mean Girls, it goes into I Think About It All the Time, which I think is such a beautiful song. I really do. It's a very good closer kind of for the album. It's not the last song, but it's a very good like winding down of just the overall kind of growth that I think Charlie herself has made through the creation of the album. You know what I mean? Maybe not. It's exploring her contemplating these different societal expectations of like what it means to be a woman and womanhood and motherhood and those inherent kind of feelings. And she even finds herself feeling wrong for questioning herself and being like, you know, I don't need a kid. You know, my womanhood isn't defined by the fact if I have a child or not. So she feels bad even questioning that kind of thinking, even though she acknowledges that like it's a very natural feeling, you know, for most women to have, especially with the societal expectations that are pushed upon it even more. But I just find that there's a lot of vulnerability and a lot of strength as well in her portrayal of womanhood and how she feels about it after meeting one of her close friends' first child and seeing how that kind of like formed them into newer people, like new but still the same. And she just wonders about that life for herself, which I think is very understanding, you know. Even as a gay man, I've wondered, you know, like, do I want kids? Like, am I going to feel like I have missed out or I'm losing something from life if I don't like participate in that? But yeah, whatever. But yeah, it just explores that and also explores like what does society define as a woman, kind of like through the experiences you're able to lead. And then 365 is looping back to the album's beginning, kind of. It's very MySpacey, you know, that online kind of pop music. So yeah, overall, I think it's a really good album. I didn't listen to it for a little bit when it first came out, but the more I saw of it online, and then I'm not gonna lie, kind of spitefully started listening to it more once all of that shenanigans with like Billboard and whatnot went down. Good marketing for you, gal. But yeah, this is a long video, you guys, and I'm sure they'll probably get smoother and whatnot as we go. But yeah, so once again, Brat by Charlie XCX. Go stream it, buy it, whatever you can do. And yes, I know I can just stream all these for free, or, you know, I do have Spotify. So I do listen to them on there because, like, obviously this isn't transportable. I can't carry this around with me and listen to it. But I just love the physicality of vinyl. I love the artwork and all that. So, why not? So, thank you so much for tuning on in, you guys. I truly do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, we're new, just breaking into this. I think the next album that will be coming in will be Chapel Roan, Rise and Fall of Midwest Princess. I believe that's the title. Her very first vinyl. So I got that. So we can do one of these for that when it comes in. And yeah, I'll keep an eye out for anything interesting. If you guys have any like recommendations that are along the lines of what we talk about in each video, then go for it. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much once again, you guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Like and subscribe, become my channel member. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.